Okay, so this is going to be another fun trivia video, and this is going to be on what should be one of my better topics. I tend to be better at this kind of quiz. Picking dates, or picking the year in this case. Yeah, I have done a video, I've recorded a video before this on this category as a kind of warm-up or whatever. Yeah, a couple of relatively silly quizzes with pop culture stuff and whatnot. This is one of them. You can tell by the way it's highlighted here. So I think I'm going to try a relatively easy one first. So maybe this one. What year did the event occur? Which is average difficulty, and it's an ordering quiz. So 10 events from 10 different years, and you place them into the correct order in which they happened. So, Concorde's first flight, I believe, is let's come back to that. Lusitania, I believe, is 1915, during the First World War. Vietnam War is 1955, started. William McKinley was assassinated in 1901. Oklahoma City bombing was 1995. Edison's light bulb was patented in, I'm going to say 1880 for now. I might come back to that later. Sydney Opera House was completed. This is more tricky than I expected, actually, which is no bad thing, because all of these are 65 to 73 over 4 options. So Westgate Bridge collapse, Sydney Opera, Wall Street Journal, Concorde first flight. I'm going to stick with my first instinct on Concorde first flight. 69. So 1889. Obviously, the Sydney Opera House doesn't go back that far, does it? Sydney was a relatively new city back then, and all that. Westgate Bridge collapsed. Gateway Arch was complete. I think I'm going to say Westgate Bridge collapsed in 1889. Wall Street Journal. I'm going to say that's a more. I'll say it's a slightly more recent thing, and I'm going to say your Opera House 70, Gateway Arch 65. Could be wrong. I mean, there's McKinley and Lusitania in Vietnam, and actually I'm not certain about the Edison one, actually, but that's either that or 1889, I think. But yeah. So let's see how we did. We got the Edison one right. Well, we didn't get Wall Street. Wall Street Journal was founded in 1889, was it? Seems more modern than that, really, but yeah. McKinley, 1901, yes. Gateway Arch in 65, yes, we got that. Concourse first flight 69, I was pretty sure of that. Sydney Opera House was in 70. Sydney Opera House was 73. Oklahoma City bomb was 95. So we got 8 out of 10. I wasn't there. There's quite more than that I wasn't sure of. So yeah, not too bad. Great events in history, easier. See how easy it is. Now then, first glance, it isn't as easy as I would have thought. Great Fire of London is 1666. Great Depression is 1929. Great San Francisco earthquake is hang on. Was that a fire? Was that yeah, it was an earthquake, 1906, wasn't it? Yeah. Great Leap Forward is in the 1960s, I believe. Great March on Washington. Oh, hang on, no. Well, that would be 58 then, because the Great March on Washington is 63. So that's what I'm thinking of, Martin Luther King and all that. This is why I prefer. Yeah, there we go. Great Chicago Fire is 1871, I think. The Great Schism is, I believe that's 1054. The Great Debate. That's interesting. Great Debate. There's been a few great debates, haven't there? I'm guessing is it something to do with Versailles, and the League of Nations and all that, which was 1990? See, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I'll put it there anyway. The Great Disappointment, the first Great Awakening sound doesn't sound that sort of. It sounds further back than the 19th century, so I'll say 1730s. Great Disappointment, 1844. I'm trying to think what that refers to, but I think we've got these first two and these, and not sure about the Great Debate. Obviously, the Great Depression, Great Leap Forward, and Great March on Washington. We've got the Great Schism and the Great Fire of London. Our first Great Awakening was the 1730s. Great Disappointment was 1844. That was the failed predictions of Preacher William Miller about, it's one of those things, that the ending of the world. Yes. Great Debate was a scientific thing about the galaxy and the universe. Okay, what was the Great Awakening? That was Protestant revival. Oh, yeah, okay. Britain and the United States, 1730s, 1740s. And these others are going to be right. So yeah, that's 10 out of 10. That's so I'd say I guess a lot of those process of elimination. That's the good thing about these sorts of quizzes. You can get it via that. Dates you really should know. Tough. Okay, let's try this. 15 questions. One in the Ivor Harold and all that. In which year was the Battle of Hastings fought? Well, yeah, 1066 and all that. Hardly a person was left alive. In which year was the population of London decimated by the plague? Well, it's not 1666. It's the Great Fire of London. 1665. So 1555, 1565. Yeah, I mean, I'm more familiar with the earlier plague, of course, the Black Death. Trying to think who was on the. Surely, was it the year before? Well, if it's 1555, it's during Queen Mary. I'm going to say 1565. I'm going to say it's early on in the first Elizabethan age, as it were. Speed, bonny boat like a bird on the wing. In which year did Bonnie Prince Charlie land in Scotland to lead a rebellion? Oh dear. This is very close together, these years. I'm going to say 1738 for some reason. On the green grassy slopes of the Bon, the Battle of the Bone or Bon, was a defining moment in British and European history. When was it fought? Was this a Spanish Armada thing? Was it 70, 60? No, that was a century earlier. What am I talking about, wasn't it? I'm trying to think. I'm going to say 1690. I'm not sure though. I wonder, did they have any cucumber sandwiches when the people of Boston had their famous party? In which year did this happen? Oh, I think it's 1773. Knitting needles ready, off with their heads. In which year was the Bastille stormed? 1789, I believe. Kiss Me Hardy. In which year was Admiral Lord Loughton killed on board HMS Victory? His great moment was the Battle of Trafalgar, 1805. So was it the same? I've got an idea. It might have been the. I'm going to say 1805. What do you mean, we, Paleface? In which year did General Custer make his last stand at the Little Bighorn? I believe that's 1876. Washington at Valley Forge, freezing cold, but up spoke George. In which year did the American Revolutionary War start? Oh, it's not. Was it 1773, 1775, I think. Because we've already had 1773, I think it's 1775. Really should know this, but yeah. A Giant Leap for Mankind. In which year did man first walk on the moon? 1969. That's funny, that option there, of course. Camelot lost. In which year was President John F. Kennedy assassinated? 1963. Camelot regained. In which year was Barack Obama elected President of the USA? It's 2008, definitely. All the humanity of it. In which year did the Hindenburg catch fire and crash? 1937, I believe. Looking for a land down under. In which year did the Europeans first set eyes on Australia? I'd say 1706. I think so. 1806, there were already lots of people there, weren't they? Prisoners and all that. In a cavern in a canyon. In which year did California's most famous gold rush start? I believe that's 1848. Yeah, it's the same year as a lot of revolutionary activity in Europe that year, wasn't there? I think, yeah. So, it is before the Great Fire of London. That's interesting. I did that. There was something in the back of my head that's thinking, was it that somehow I had heard that in connection with the Great, being so in proximity to the Great Fire of London, yeah. Bonnie Prince Charles, 1745, okay. 1690, Battle of the Bone. 1773 Tea Party, Boston Tea Party. 1789 Bastille. 1805 Lord Nelson. It was the same year as the Battle of Trafalgar. 1876 Custer's last stand. I was pretty sure of that. 1775, yeah, I kind of did well. If there hadn't been the previous Boston Tea Party question, which the answer was 1773, I might have gone for 1773 on that. 1969 Moon, yes. 1963 Kennedy, 2008 Obama, 1937 Hindenburg, yes. 1606, even further back than I thought. First set eyes on Australia, and 1848 California's most famous gold rush started. Yeah, I was pretty sure of that, so yeah. 12 out of 15 for a tough quiz, on which the average score is 9 out of 15, so can't complain about that too much. Yeah, so as I say, I do like this kind of quiz. I have a thing for memorising years, even on subjects I'm not particularly interested in. I can, like books I've never read, or songs I've never listened to, or things like even American sports leagues, which I'm not really into. I can sometimes get the years and what happened then or there, or where, when or where, and all that. But yeah. So yeah, that was a fun little outing on Fun Trivia again. So yeah, thanks for watching.